Welcome back to another edition of the Witsup Weekly Grind. Sorry, I had a few issues at the start there. I am trying out a couple of different things and I'll explain why in just a second. Before I do that, we've got some people on Instagram following, so I'm just going to hit live over there, wait for those guys to connect. How are you all doing? Can you hear me okay? Please leave me a comment. Let me know that the sound is coming through loud and clear. Nick Mallet, trusty Nick, is always here, always willing to comment as well. And you made a comment on one of our articles last week that I haven't got back to yet, but I really like to comment, so I will come back to you on that. G'day to everyone who's tuning in on Instagram. I'm just going to keep this going. I'll keep an eye on you guys as well. I'll do my best. Just trying out a few different things, and I'm about to explain why I'm trying out some different things at the moment in terms of some live content videos and, dare I say, some live coverage. All righty, let's get stuck into it. Good to see some of our regulars coming back. Joe Coombe, how are you doing? Thank you for the sound and the thumbs up, everyone. Joe, who is one of our, well, Joe actually was part of the Brains Trust when we first launched Witsup. Before we'd even launched Witsup, I invited her along to a bit of a focus group. So she's been a Witsup fan and supporter since day one. And unfortunately, Joe came off her bike two days ago, I think it was, over the weekend. Is okay. Thankfully was wearing her helmet and obviously in a bit of pain from what I imagine. But she's a qualified vet, so surely you can get some hands on some decent drugs, right, Joe? But hopefully you're recovering okay, Joe. You look after yourself. Once again, hi to the people over on Instagram. Following, if you want to jump on over to Facebook, it just looks a bit better, but you can follow along here. And if you've got any questions, yell out. Okay, I saw Jordan make a comment earlier about one of the weirdest rules in triathlon, but it hasn't popped up on my feed. So Jordan, I'll get you to answer that question again and I can throw it up onto the screen. But before we get to that, let's talk Hervey Bay 100. Now, the reason I'm super excited about this is that we have been working closely with Jeff, who runs the show at Hervey Bay 100. We've been chatting to him for quite a while now, and we've just been given approval to host the live coverage of Hervey Bay 100 in less than 2 weeks. So it is Sunday week. So yesterday, 2 weeks, you know what I mean? It's in like 13 sleeps. So we will be hosting the live coverage of Hervey Bay 100. So if you didn't see what we did at Sunny Coast back in September, I think it was, essentially, I will be here hosting from Melbourne in a news presenter host kind of fashion. But the first bit of big news that no one knows about yet, because we only signed off on this morning, is that I will have a co-host, because here in Melbourne, we're allowed to go to each other's houses now. So I'm super excited to welcome, actually, here's a couple of news. Oh, now I'm just teasing you. Now I'm just being a massive tease. So let's take a step back. The first bit of news is we're going to be covering the professional women and the professional men in this live coverage. So both men and women are going to get equal coverage. Actually, I shouldn't guarantee that. There's a good chance the women might get a little bit more. And guys, you're going to have to put up with it. But I'm really excited to say that we are going to do our absolute best to give you some great live coverage from Hervey Bay 100 of the professional women and professional men's race. Before I keep going with that, let's just have a look at the pro field lining up in Hervey Bay. In the women's field, we've got Amelia Watkinson, Kira Sadell, Elise Selsmark, Meredith Hill, Ellie Salthouse, Kylie Simpson, Courtney Gilfillan, Megan Brown, and Emily Donker. So a fantastic lineup at Hervey Bay in the women's field. And then in the men's field, we've got Simon Hearn, Tim Reed, Tim Van Berkel, Maxi Newman, Alex Polizzi, Scotty Bavel. So Scott, your mum is going to be very happy. Scotty's just tuned in as well. And it's just said Steph's triathlon broadcast world domination. I need to be super clear. While I'm the face of it, There are a lot of people behind the scenes helping out with this. So massive shout out to the Witsup crew who are helping us pull all this together. Back to the men's field, Scotty Bavel, Sam Benton, Connor McKay, Lockie Kieran, Nat Lewis, Steve McKenna, Trent Thorpe, and Caleb Noble. So fantastic Aussie/New Zealand, but let's say local Australian race. Typically, Hervey Bay 100 doesn't have a professional field as such. They have an open category, but the crew at Hervey Bay 100 recognise that they want to be able to try and give back to the sport where they can, which is why they're allowing a professional field. And then we, of course, have the PTO who are sinking the prize money into the race. So a lot of moving parts, a lot of people working together to try and bring to you some exciting racing from one of our local races here in Australia. I've never been to Hervey Bay. If you have been to Hervey Bay, please leave a comment. Let me know what your favourite part of Hervey Bay is. But from what I understand, it is stunning. Yes, and Joe said, yep, it's great for the Hervey Bay 100 as well. I think all of us working together, this is going to be a fantastic event. And I just am jealous that I'm missing out not being there. So we're doing it in a different way by bringing you the live coverage. So how's it going to work? So my second bit of news is we're covering the men's and women's, and I know plenty about the men's field, but it's certainly not my area of expertise, which may or may not come as a shock to you all. So I've invited someone who I've actually worked with before in a commentary capacity, and I think he's brilliant. I think we both work really, really well together. His name is none other than Luke Bell, who lives down the road from me. So he's going to be joining me here in Witsup HQ, and Luke and I will be co-host for the Hervey Bay 100 live coverage. So I'm super excited about that. Luke certainly knows his stuff. And I'm stoked that he's joining me. Plus, it means I can have a bit of a breather as well throughout the show. So that's going to be awesome. I can't wait to have Luke on the screen next to me and just have another person in this house, which will be awesome. We've kind of been waiting to find out what our restrictions are here in Melbourne as to what we can and cannot do. But that is what we can do. We can have people over in our house, which is awesome. Here we are. Jordan said she guessed barely, and we've got someone from the Hervey Bay 100 team who has just tuned in to give us a little bit more information about some of the questions that have popped up. And Jordan said, where in Australia is it? I would have said Queensland on the coast, and that would have been my level of expertise. But everyone knows I'm not great with geography. But the Hervey Bay 100 team has just said it's just north of Brisbane in Queensland, right next to Fraser Island, which is a stunning part of the world. Nick has also said not too far north of Noosa, 30k east of Maryborough. Oh, there you go, Jordan. You've been to Fraser Island. Just speaking of Noosa, unfortunately, on the weekend, we all missed out on one of our favourite races or favourite events on the planet, the Noosa Triathlon and Multisport Weekend or Festival, whatever it's called these days. So such a shame that we didn't get to see that take place on the weekend. So yeah, just a shout out to everyone who, particularly in Australia, and Jordan, who I know was wanting to come over from the States to do that race, obviously did not go ahead. Joe Coombe, day trip to Fraser is booked for the day after the race. That's actually... there's a lot that they've got going on for people the day after the race. So massive shout out to Hervey Bay 100. We're super excited to be working with you. Now, further to that, we're going to have an on-the-ground reporter, and it is someone who you all know very well, and she's one of the big reasons that we have managed to pull this together. Belinda Granger will be on the ground at Hervey Bay 100. She'll be on the ground. She'll be on the back of a motorbike. Let's throw her in the water as well so she can get some up-close footage. You never know. So it'd be fantastic to have the quality and the experience that is Belinda Granger on the ground at Hervey Bay 100. We've got some other bits and pieces happening. We're going to see if we can get some other partners involved and really give you guys at home a really great experience and enjoy following the live coverage of Hervey Bay 100. So if you watched this last week, I was asking you what you wanted to see in terms of live coverage. That is the reason. Any questions, let me know. Anything you want to see out of our live coverage, please leave a comment and let us know if there's anything in particular you would love to see. Hervey Bay 100 has just said, let's get Belinda on a jet ski for the swim. I'd love that. How awesome would that be? So keep in mind, we're obviously a very small team. Don't expect like a full camera person setup, but we're going to do a very good job on the resources that we've got and bring you. It's going to be entertaining, to say the least. So shout out to everyone who is involved with that. Okay, moving on. What is next? If you, Joe, that's a really good point, has just said BG can talk underwater, so she may as well get out there. Absolutely. She could probably swim, commentate. So she'd be like, why not? Let's give her a challenge. Okay, moving right along. Podcast. So I'm really excited. We've got lots of exciting news. I feel like we've just sort of been not laying dormant, but just cruising along for a little bit, just trying to get a few ducks in a row. And now it's time to let loose with some announcements. Tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, I am catching up with the fierce Chrissie Wellington for a recording of a podcast. So we'll be releasing the podcast on Friday like we normally do, Friday Melbourne time. But if you are a Witsup Patreon member, you get the opportunity to tune in live and watch the interview unfold. So this is the first time we're doing this. Fingers crossed technology is working for us tomorrow morning, especially if I have to get up early in the morning and do this as well. But if you're a Patreon member, please make sure that you have jumped on the Patreon website, or if you haven't downloaded the app, download the app so you get notifications like the announcement that I made yesterday to all of our Patreon members. And it tells you how you can watch the live podcast recording. At the end of the podcast, which will go for about an hour, Chrissy's also allowing some of our followers, our members, to ask some questions as well. So if you're not a Patreon member yet, sign up for as little as $5 a month. And as long as you've signed up before 6 a.m. tomorrow, you'll get access to that live recording. That will be, once again, 6 a.m. tomorrow. So that's Tuesday, 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. So whatever time that is for you in the world. That's pretty early for Queenslanders, but you guys get up at like 3 a.m. anyway. So not a drama. Just a reminder, if you want to become a Patreon member, hang on, why won't this work? Sorry, I'm just trying to find the link to add it. Why won't it add? Hang on, see, this is what happens. Too many things. Questions, feature link. I'm trying to give you the link in the description. Boop, but it's not working. Bear with me. Is the description to Patreon in the in this at the moment? Maybe not. Do you know what? If Jordan's, hang on, here we go. Let's just put it here. Comment. Edit. Sorry, trying new things, so please bear with me. I've just added in the comments to, if you're not a Patreon member, just click on that link you can sign up for as little as $5 per month. I'm just going to jump back over to Instagram for a second. Never checked out their course until now. Cycling Along the Bay looks like a great circuit setup. That's what Gabe has just said about the Hervey Bay 100 course. You should check it all out. It looks like a stunning place to hold. I haven't put it in. To hold an event. Sorry, guys. I'm not too sure what's happening with some of that feed. Let's put this here. Hang on a second. Paste. All right. I have now popped that in there. Jordan, Blanco just asked if we're if we're a Patreon, he wants to join. Blanco, I will allow you to watch it through Jordan's patronage. That is completely fine. So yeah, like I say, fingers crossed is the first time doing it, but what a person to start off with. And my very first podcast that I did with Marinda Carfrae as well. So we don't like to do things by halves. Let's have a crack with one of the best of the best. I mean, in our opinion, might have a different opinion whether she's the best of the best, but we think she's pretty awesome and fierce, it turns out. So a few people are saying they're going to be watching it while they're doing training in the morning. So perfect timing to tune in. Just make sure if you're watching it on, that's why I wanted to do it on YouTube as well, so people can watch it on the big screen if that was a little bit easier. Also, if you want to ask questions, but you can't get access to your computer, make sure you've got your phone readily, to go at the end. We won't take questions throughout the podcast because I want it to feel like it's that natural kind of podcast feel that we're known for. But definitely at the end, when we finish recording the actual podcast, we will then allow a few questions depending on what time availability Chrissie's got. But I think... it's something that we can give back to you guys who are our patrons. So thank you so much if you already are. And again, if you are a Patreon member, don't forget to either download the app just so you don't miss out on any of the notifications. I think you get an email when we post something. But if you're anything like me, I often hit mark all read and then miss heaps of emails. Okay. E-newsletter. We've got an e-newsletter coming out hopefully this week. I'll get Jordan to confirm that or not. We're just trying to mix things up a little bit. This is an idea that Jordan came up with as well. We're all about sharing what a lot of other people are doing across the globe, interesting stories that we read, and we typically on our WhatsApp group message are constantly sharing stories of impressive women in triathlon, outside of triathlon, across the globe. So she's just said, fingers crossed we can get that out to you this week, and that will be a weekly occurrence. So keep an eye out for that in your inbox. We're also just circling back a little bit to the live coverage that we've done. We've just been playing catch up a lot, sort of running on a bit of a skeleton crew for a little while, but we're catching up on the Sunny Coast and the Cairns coverage because we know we're running competitions and people signed up to our e-newsletter, and we'll be announcing those winners in the next couple of days so that you can get your hands on some prizes from those events. We have not forgotten you, I promise. Okay, Challenge Daytona. We put out a press release, went out late last week, that it looks like the PTO have added another $150,000 to the Challenge Daytona Championship race, which means that pretty much every pro who starts and, finishes, walks away with a few dollars in their pocket, which is fantastic news for everyone who are heading over to Challenge Daytona, because it is a mission to get there from all corners of the globe at the moment. So $2,500 is the minimum amount of money that pros can earn from that race, which is fantastic. So it brings the whole prize purse up to $1,150,000. So big news from PTO announcing the extra dollars for the prize purse over there. Do you know anyone who's racing the age group? I'd be interested to hear any age group is taking part. Okay, and then finally, I want to talk about weird rules. If you are listening here or here, what's one of the weirdest rules? And Jordan, I'll get you to pop down your comment again because for whatever reason it didn't pop up. But one of the weirdest rules that you have come across in this sport, because there are some strange ones. One for a long time, and I don't know if it was an Ironman rule or because different federations have slightly different rules, like in terms of drafting and things like that. And I think this one's actually changed recently. It used to be against the rules to crawl. You were not allowed to crawl forward. And I think the rule changed to you can only crawl in the finishing line, I think it is. It's something like that. But anyway, a few years ago, it was against the rules to do any crawling. And as you may or may not know, there have been some fantastic races that have finished with crawling. And, you know, my gosh, Julie Moss. I was about to say Julie Morris. Julie Moss, her crawl of fame. That's the title of her book, by the way. Help put triathlon and Ironman on the map. So it's interesting that that's it's against the rules to crawl. But I think the latest and I think it's just Ironman, I'd have to look it up, is that you can only crawl within a certain amount of time to the finishing line. But other than that, you're not allowed to crawl to propel yourself forward. Just seems, it's just interesting. Jordan has just said the one where zippers could only be unzipped to the breastplate or something like that. Yeah, and a few people have been caught out on that. And then what's the difference between men and women and bare chests and all that kind of stuff. And then you've got races where you have to wear your bib number on the bike. And if you don't, you get disqualified. And then other races, it does say that in the rules, but they don't pick you up on it. And there's some interesting, bizarre rules, that's for sure. Maybe we could use this time to readdress some of those rules while there's not, a lot of racing going on. We can take a look at it and see if we can make some changes that need to be made. Interesting. What's the weirdest rule that you've come across in the sport? I'm going to hang here for just a little bit longer. Hey, Jordan, if you can hear me, if you're still listening, I want to try something, and it would include getting you onto this live feed. So now I'm just going to stuff around for a little bit because we're using a new program, and I want to see if this will work. So Jordan, if you can hear me, I'm going to send you a link. And we're going to see if we can get Jordan on the live feed for just a moment, because we're just testing something out, which will be really cool because it means that we can add people. I'm just going to send it to her and see if she picks up. We can add people to our live feed quite easily if we want to. So Jordan, I've just texted you a link. So you need to click on that, just follow the instructions, and let's see if we can get you on this live feed. I'm going to keep riffing for a little bit longer. Actually, while we're doing this, I'm just going to say goodbye to everyone who's listening over on Instagram. Great to see you all. Hope you're looking after yourselves. Chat to you soon. Let's get rid of those guys. Might just delete that one, I reckon. Oh, here we go. Jordan is tuning in. Let's see if we can make this happen. I love it. I love trying stuff on the spot. Let's just see if we've got it working. All right. Give me a second, Jordan. Let's turn you on. Oh, come on. Assign. Guest one. Oh, something's working. Hang on. Hang on. Let's see. I might have to have earphones. Look at that. Woohoo. Oh, bear with me. Can you hear me? She can hear me. All right, that's good. Now, what have we done? What have we done? Interview. Oh, something's not working. Damn it. Bear with me. Nothing quite like working on the fly. But you guys can leave now. This is just a live test. If you're not interested, that's fine. Jordan, you've got to stay there though until I figure this out. Right. Whoop. Okay, something clearly isn't. Oh, hang on. I think I know what it will be. Just bear with me. This is the problem when you're doing 1,000 things and changing things all the time. Input. Boop. Now, Joel's saying they can't hear it. Thank you for the update. This is... Oh, it may not work, folks. We may have to go back to the drawing board on this one. Oh, I've added a name. I've given you a name on the program. Jordan solo. Nah, can't hear you back. Jordan, enable audio sharing. Oh, did you, when you clicked on it, did it say anything about the audio? And just, I love that she's talking to me. Or you guys can see her as well. And she's talking to us, but we have no idea what she's saying. All right, we might have to give up. Let's Jordan, you log out and then log back in again, and we'll see if we can get it back in just a second. Okay, let's just go back to, let's hope we can make that work. This is, why not? Well, because normally, if you worked in an office, you would have, people to troubleshoot off. So now I'm just using you guys as my troubleshooters. While we're waiting for Jordan to tune back in again, Joe just said it's not a weird rule. We need to make that smaller as well. Anyway. Pacing an athlete. In South Africa, I was told by an official I couldn't even move from where I was, or Pete would be DQ'd. I was horrified. I wasn't going alongside him, but because she saw me multiple places, she thought I was pacing. Yeah, All right, let's try Jordan again. All right. She's in the green room. That's what it says. That's awesome. Let's add here. Oh.
All right. Can you hear me this time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm getting a little blue stripe telling me that my vocals are coming over. Yay.
Amazing. There you go. So this is the new program. We can add you in quite easily once we figure out the audio. And it's all good. This is how we're going to be doing the live stuff in Hervey Bay. It's a bit better than Skype. We've used Skype in the past, and this is a bit different.
Oh, so you would add in Belinda on the ground from here. Oh, yeah, that's great. That's perfect.
Yeah, much better than Skype, because Skype can be a bit dodgy. So, so everyone who's watching, Jordan has been helping out with Witsup forever. But in terms of the live coverage stuff, Jordan was behind the scenes doing so many. She was basically my hands, but from San Francisco, adding comments, adding scoreboard, leaderboards, all that kind of stuff, because I was trying to concentrate talking. So I think this is going to help us heaps.
Yeah. No, I think, I'm obviously not watching the Facebook stream right now because I'm just on this, but yeah, seems like it works. And the timing with San Francisco is always great because I'm always 2 glasses of wine into the evening by the time you're up and about.
Yeah, exactly. The live coverage, I'd love to be able to have a beer while I'm doing the live coverage, but at 6 a.m. I'll stick with coffee.
Yeah. Cool. And
that's not a beer.
We'll get that newsletter out. I've got all the ideas. I just need to put pen to paper.
It's a lot of work, but once we get the ball rolling, then everyone can expect and what's the name of it, Jordan? What's the name of because this is all yours. So what was the name of our new newsletter?
Isn't it? Oh shit, what did we call it? The Witsup Weekly Word, maybe?
That's it.
Okay. Pass that test.
Well, thank you so much. I will love you and leave you and let you get back to obviously working on the newsletter, right?
Yeah. Saturday night dinner that the husband made.
Well, oh, nice. Well, hopefully we'll see you guys in the morning when I'm chatting to Chrissie.
We will be there. I think it's 11 a.m. our time, so pretty good timing.
Yeah.
Oh, see?
Hi, mate.
He's like, see you there.
I love it.
All
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for joining me. We'll chat to you soon.
Bye.
See ya. There you go. Technology testing in real life. I love that people are still watching. You guys are awesome. I want to go back to another one of the stupid, weird. God, that takes up all of my face. That's probably a good thing. It's like I go like this. Wait. If I go like that. Hang on. Whoop. Okay. Not the stupidest rule, but the stupidest ruling was 99 Kona when the legendary character and Gatorade athlete Chucky V was DQ'd for drinking beer on the run course. He had won Ironman Canada 6 weeks earlier and blew up in Kona, so was just trying to walk to the finish. Not only did Ironman DQ him, which was fair, but they went and banned him from racing the following year. What? Oh my gosh. So I guess if we're looking at if you're looking at the rules, the rule would have been, I assume, there we go, that's a bit better. Outside assistance, you can't, because they don't have beer at the aid station, and that's where you are allowed to pick up fuel or whatever. Excuse me, obviously. So, I mean, it's pretty crap to DQ someone who's clearly not doing anything and is walking the marathon. And like, I feel like there needs to be a level of, do we say compassion or, we'll say compassion. Yeah, I think that sucks. But then to ban him from racing the following year, I've not heard that story before. Yeah, that sucks. Far out. Actually, at Roth, my first year doing Roth, there's a thing called the beer mile that you run through. It's a few K from the finishing line, I think. And I was toast. I was walking a massive part of the marathon. I wasn't taking anyone's spot. I wasn't, it was the game over. I just had to get to the finishing line. And yeah, I took a swig of beer. Big mistake because it was terrible. But yeah, I've done it. But then I also rocked up to a bike shop during the race and got them to fit a new battery to my bike. So that was technically outside assistance. But they let me come back and race. Yeah, right. Okay. A few other people. Yeah, Jordan said, yeah, it's obviously outside assistance, which yes, it is. But it's just a bit shit. The pacing thing is, it's an interesting one. But I mean, find me someone who hasn't, ridden next to a loved one for a couple of seconds or bunny hopped and, stood on the side of the road. So technically, if you are coaching or yelling at anyone, you need to be static. You're not supposed to be moving. But then, yeah, I don't know. I think just the rules can get a bit grey. So I guess a bit of common sense needs to prevail at certain points. Oh, just bang the camera. I think Kama just tuned in then. She got done for blocking when I was saying, hi, how are you, to a friend at Ironman Melbourne once. As I passed 5 minutes in the sin bin for me. I mean, God, Ironman Melbourne was just a draft fest anyway, wasn't it? You're on a motorway, smooth roads, thousands of athletes out there at once, particularly the year that the swim was shortened as well. So, yeah, there's some tough rules. I remember quite a few years ago, Maddie White, now it was a race. I don't want to say the race because I might get it wrong, but it was a race in WA where he accidentally littered. So from what I understand, he dropped a gel pack, but I think he was trying to put it in his back pocket and didn't realize that it had fallen out. And you've obviously got a certain amount of time or space to get rid of stuff, and that's at the aid station. And he kept riding and then took his gel, put it in his back pocket, and it fell out without him knowing, and he got DQ'd. I think he may have been leading the race as well, or he was up near the front. And it's just stuff like that which sucks because, it wasn't intentional. I think it's... Oh, there you go. Joel's just said it was Albany half. That's the one I thought it was, but I didn't want to say it in case it was wrong. It's hard because I also know that rules are there for a reason, and every rule can be questioned. Every rule can probably be justified as well. But it's interesting. Joel, he was leading the race, right? I'm pretty sure he was leading the race. Anyway, I think that was about it. We might pull together some of those weird rules and pull together a bit of an article, I think, around that because it's interesting. I've certainly broken plenty of rules unintentionally. I mean, I guess the one in Roth wasn't I unintentionally left my battery off the bike. And it was a matter for me of going, well, if I got disqualified, I still just wanted to finish the race. It wasn't about placing or anything. When you're hanging around in transition for half an hour trying to find a battery for your bike, you are well and truly out of the running to podium in a race. But yeah, I wasn't traveling all the way to Germany. It was on my honeymoon as well, and not taking part in the best race, in my opinion, on the planet. Okay. that's about it for me. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, if you are not a Witsup Patreon member, please make sure that you sign up. I wish that link thing would work, but it's not. Sign up to become a Patreon member. It is just patreon.com/Witsup. I've already put a link in the description of this. I might even put it again, because it means that you can watch our live podcast recording between myself and Chrissie Wellington. That is tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. It will be on YouTube, but you will not get access to it unless you are a Witsup Patreon member. All you need to do is sign up for as little or more, but for as little as $5 US a month, and you'll get access to that. And the plan moving forward is to have more of those kind of live recordings for our Patreon members only. It's a way of us saying thank you for supporting us, and just, give you a bit of extra content, plus give you access to some of these incredible athletes in our sport. All right, take care. I'll see you again here next Monday, and then Luke Bell, Belinda Granger, and myself will be giving you live coverage from the Hervey Bay 100 Triathlon, Sunday, November the 15th. All right, guys, take care. I'll see you again soon.